welcome to episode 2 of Farm Girl Knits podcast. Today I decided to come outside and record the video so that way Wade here can play in the sand if he wants to. We are coming to you from outside in our shelter in Alpine, Tennessee, and this is a podcast about knitting, crocheting, hand dyeing yarn, and all sorts of other crafty stuff. I do some sewing. I forgot to bring out my dress. I have made a dress since the last time I recorded the podcast, but I forgot to bring it out. I'll show it eventually.
What do you want me to get it?
No, that's okay. I promised on the last video that there was going to be an episode 1B in 2 parts because there was a lot of stuff to talk about, but unfortunately I ended up deleting the videos. My iPad was running out of space and I thought I had them saved somewhere else, so I deleted them, and it turns out they were not saved somewhere else, so they're all gone, but it's okay. It'll be okay. So I'll start off with my one finished object, which is the Campside Cardi by Alicia Plumer, I think. I don't know. Plum Dandy Designs or whatever. So here is the cardigan. Honey, I can't show it if you're in the way. So there's the front. There's the back. And this was the first sweater or cardigan that I ever made. And if I hadn't deleted the other part of the last episode, you could have saw it as a work in progress, but anyways, finished object. What kind of needles did I use? Like brand, I guess is how you pronounce it, Honey Bunch. Hold on just a minute, okay? We'll get to that in just a minute. I know you're trying to help, but I'll tell you whenever I need it, okay? Like needles, and this particular pattern calls for 3 different sizes. The top part, I don't know, down to about like maybe right here or something. All this was knit in a size 8. And then you switch over to size 9 to work the last 2 charts. Think like you do 8 inches in size 8, like from the armhole, from the underarm, you do 8 inches for size 8 needles, and then you switch over to size 9 and do 8 more inches. It was 16 inches before the ribbing. Then do 1.5 inches ribbing. You use size 6 for the ribbing, and the ribbing's just knit 2, purl 2. Then the collar or button band or whatever is added last. This pattern doesn't call for any buttons, which I don't really like buttons on cardigans anyway because I never button them up, so it's just kind of a waste of time. But it's super, super comfy. I'll try it on. So, cannot believe it actually fit. Can you see it? Here, I'll get over here. So, I think I'm probably going to live in this cardigan next fall and winter because it is just so comfy and it's just my colors. Oops, sorry for the shaking on the picnic table. Picnic table is kind of wobbly. So, the color, the yarn is super 75%, I think 75% superwash merino, and then 25% nylon, or it could be 80-20, I don't remember. Anyways, I ordered it from a place, Indie Dyer. Her shop is called Arwen Makes. I'll try to put a link in the down bar, but I seem to have trouble with technology these days, so who knows if I'll do it. Oh, speaking of technology, silly me, I forgot again to mention where to find me at. I'll put a thing up, but anyways, you can find me on Instagram and also Ravelry as SL Hargis, and then my website is shaunahargis.com, and I'll put that. This picnic table might not have been the best idea. I'll put those honey, don't lose any of that stuff, okay? So I'll put all that stuff in the think. But anyways, Arwen Makes, you find her on Etsy and on Facebook. I don't know if she has an Instagram, but she's based in somewhere in the UK, and so she hand dyed this. I just told her sort of what color I wanted. Can you please stop moving the table, honey? I told her what colors I wanted, and she did a custom hand dye job. I ordered 5 skeins of the DK weight yarn, but I didn't even end up using all 4 skeins. But I wanted to make sure I had plenty because I'd never made a cardigan or a sweater before, so I didn't know how much it would take for sure. And based on the pattern, it should have taken all of 4 skeins, but evidently they kind of overestimated it. So I'm going to make a hat out of the remainder, and I'll put some in my memory scrap blanket that I'm fixing to show. So anyways, I love this. Some of the eyelets didn't really match up. I don't know really where it is. Oh yeah, like these. They're really not supposed to be right on top of each other. But I don't know. That's my fault. That's not the pattern's fault. I did get a little off on the eyelets, and at the bottom they're supposed to be more closer together, and I didn't really want them that close together, so I kind of switched the last part up just a little bit. So that's my only finished object. I think that's my only finished object. I don't know. It's the only one I have out here. I think I showed, well, I guess you didn't get to see the socks because I deleted those videos. It'll be alright. I'll put a picture up here. So here is my work in progress, and I've started on one of the arms. So this is the Opal Sock Yarn Bunny by Susan B. Anderson, and this is obviously for Wade. The yarn is West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply. It's a 75/25 nylon or superwash wool and nylon. It's not merino wool. And I did make a pair of socks out of this that I talked about in the other video. It's not my favorite yarn that I've used for socks, but it's working really nice for this bunny. But as you can tell, I'm going to have like a ton left over, so I'll probably make another pair of socks for these with this, even though it may not be my favorite sock yarn. But it works. So anyways, this bunny, I really wasn't thinking I'd be able to make it. It looked kind of complicated, but it turned out to be really, really easy so far. The only problem is the pattern calls for using double point needles, and I didn't have any double points, and I didn't really want to buy any because, you know, they're kind of like, I've already bought enough needles, and there's still more size needles that I need to get. So I just decided I'd magic loop it. And magic looping worked excellent on the head. No problem to convert that to magic loop. The body was a little bit more trickier because it kept saying, like, the arm and leg placements used like needle 1, needle 2, needle 3, and I didn't have needle 1, needle 2, needle 3. So that got a bit difficult. I ended up messing up the leg placement, and I didn't notice it until I had gotten everything cut and tied off and everything. Well, as you can tell, I've got one leg back here and one leg up here. That's not going to look very good. So I could rip it back, but I don't want to do that. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of fudge it a little bit, and this leg looks to be pretty close to the right spot. So I've got this marker here, and I think I'm going to try, this may not work, I don't know, but I'm going to try to go through and just add in a leg here, and pick up some stitches and add in a leg here. It won't, there won't be a hole, but really I don't guess there even has to be. You're supposed to do like, I guess this would be the same as an afterthought heel, where you pick up below and above, and then you take out the scrap yarn. So I'll just pick up, what I'm thinking I'll do is pick up I think I counted, I don't know, I'll pick up like right through here, I think, yeah, right here and right here, so there'll be a leg here and a leg where this yellow marker is. And then it just won't have any scrap yarn. There won't be, you know, a hole there. I'll just knit it like as if it was wrapped. Then for this is the problem. I think I'm going to try to find a section of brown yarn in here and carefully sew in where the orange is, and then take the orange out, and hopefully that will work. So there's my first whip, and surely I'll be finished with that soon if I just can focus on it. I seem to have trouble focusing. This I was going to talk about. I talked about this on the last podcast. So I'll talk about it here. And I just noticed that one of these squares is a little bit off. But anyway, I don't know what the deal is with that. So I was going to do a Cozy Memories type blanket. But I started, well, shucks. I showed you on the video that accidentally got deleted, my corner to corner crochet blanket that is no longer around. It's poofed. I frogged it. So anyway, you won't be able to see that, sorry. I started a corner to corner, and I got, I don't know, probably like a triangle, maybe like this big. I don't know. I got pretty good, well, a fairly decent amount, but it was a little too tedious. It was very easy, but just, I'm not too great with crochet, and perhaps I should have knitted the blanket, but I don't know, I just didn't really like the way it was going, so I decided to scrap that, and I found a pattern called Bear's Rainbow Blanket by Pearl Soho, and you can just search it on Etsy. It's really, or not Etsy, but Ravelry. It's easy to find, and so I got that, and it's free, which is awesome. And I found this, and so I decided, well, you know what, I'll do that, because I kind of like the granny square blankets, but they're a little too holey for me. I want something a little bit more dense, I guess. And so I'm going to do the Bear's Rainbow Blanket, but I'm going to make it My Cozy Memories. And so it comes with, you get all these squares. Now in the pattern, there's the middle part is one color, and then she does a border in, I think, white. But I decided to just do all mine whatever color. So this particular color was the pink color that was in my Find Your Fade shawl, and I didn't have as much of it left, and I thought I had, maybe I crocheted this a little tighter, but this square is a little smaller than the other ones, so I don't really know what I'm going to do about that yet. I'll figure it out, and maybe it'll stretch some, but right now I've got 4 squares. This color also came out of my Find Your Fade shawl, and this one was from my Find Your Fade. So I've got 2 more Find Your Fade colors to make squares with, I think. Actually, I should have 6 more. I should have 6 colors for 6 squares from the Find Your Fade. So I don't know, I'm missing a color. This is the Winter is Coming colorway by Woolfiend. I made 2 pairs of socks in this, actually. I made the cobblestone socks by Mina Phillip, which I didn't bring them out here, but they were in the video. They got deleted. I apologize. I'll put a picture in here. But I really love the cobblestone pattern. I really like all of Mina Phillip's sock patterns that I've done so far. They're very easy, and they're very easy to follow, and I just really like them. So I liked the cobblestone socks so much in this color that I ended up doing a second pair of socks with, and I need to, I don't think I've taken a picture of them, I need to. They have this color, they're just plain vanilla socks, and then I did a contrast toe, heel, and cuff with Heritage, yeah, Cascade Heritage, and I think the lavender color. So I should have probably brought them out here because they're my favorite pair of socks that I made so far. I'll have to take a picture of those and put it on sometime. Maybe I'll bring them out for the next podcast. I just kind of forgot. Let me find my crochet hook so I can tell you what. So I got this at Hobby Lobby. It's a size E, which is a 3.5 millimeter, and this particular pattern uses double crochet, half double crochet, and a few single crochets. Oh, and a couple of treble, whatever it is. So you can learn all the crochet stitches with this this right here. And I'm gonna, for me and Wade, to cuddle up in on the couch. So I don't know. Someday I'll get it finished. I'm not in any hurry. I'm a little slower with crochet, so you're in a hurry? You're in a hurry? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. We have to go down to Rickman, to my husband's dad's, and to help Wade has to help my husband try out the new hay mower that we got. And here, get off you're too wiggly. You're gonna give everybody a headache. Here, get off. Just stand up, because this picnic table's too wobbly. We can't be moving on it. So he has to go help his daddy mow some hay this afternoon, and he's in a hurry to get down there. So I'm gonna have to quickly go through all the whips. The next whip is the Driftwood Socks by Mina Phillip. I'm pretty sure I talked about these on the video that got deleted. So I've gotten quite a lot done in the last couple of weeks on these. And this color was from my Find Your Fade shawl. This was actually the first yarn I ever dyed. It's supposed to be purple, but it turns out whenever you're using deep magenta and Caribbean blue to make purple, you have to use more magenta than blue. So if you're using the Dharma colors anyway, deep magenta and Caribbean blue, you're going to need more magenta than blue to make purple. But I ended up really, really loving how this color turned out. And so this is the pattern, the texture side, and here's the how it looks just in stockinette. I don't know that I'll ever be able to recreate this color. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to recreate any colors that I have dyed, but I'm going to try. So, this is just plain old Caribbean blue that I also dyed it, and I really like the look of the contrast cuff heel and toe. These are my first toe-up socks. I just used, I think the pattern was in the New York sock collection. I think it's where she puts the toe-up pattern. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if it's in the vanilla recipe. I don't think it is, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so I used her toe-up pattern because it's rounded, and I kind of like the idea of having a rounded toe. I did Jenny's Surprisingly, or Magic Cast On, I don't know, whatever it is, Magic Cast On, something other. I'm really not sure what I'm doing wrong with this Magic Cast On thing, but, I mean, I got it to work, I just don't think I did it quite right. So I'm going to have to I'm going to see if I can watch some more videos before I start my next socks. I really like the idea of doing toe-up socks, though. The reason why I wanted to do toe-up for these is I could just knit them. I wasn't sure. I didn't have a full skein. I had about 80-something grams, 82 grams or something, of this dark blue, which I'm calling, it's bigger on the inside, because it, looks like the TARDIS to me. So I had about 80 grams of that, and I wanted tall socks. So I thought, I would make them as tall as I possibly could. I didn't know exactly how much yarn that would take, so I decided to try toe up. So that way I can just knit until I run out of yarn. And if I run out of this before I get them as tall as I want, I'm going to do some of the teal or turquoise stripes. So I'll add some stripes up here, and then I'm going to do, of course, this in the cuff in this. One thing I've learned, that I have really big calf muscles. I'm not saying I'm strong, but my legs are pretty big, and I think part of it is everybody from my mom's side of the family has really big calves. And also, I used to clog and ride horses, and so that kind of helps build up leg muscles. I've got a bit of a tangle here on my socks. And I am, as you can tell, doing these somewhat consecutively. I need to get caught up on this leg. Now these needles. Oh wait, back to the leg things. So I've learned that since my legs are a bit larger, my calves are a bit larger than my feet, if I do the cuff, 60 stitches on 2.25 millimeter needles. I do the cuff 60 stitches, and then I do the leg and the foot at 56 stitches. So that's what I'm done. That's what I'm going to do for these. I'm going to increase 4 stitches whenever I get to the cuff, and then I'll do 60 stitches and then bind off with probably the, what is that, super stretchy bind off? I don't know. I'll have to look. I meant to bring my little cast on bind off book out here to show you, but I forgot it. But I'll try to remember to do that the next time. I know I promised that the last time. But anyways, so whatever stretchy bind off it is that I used for my cardigan, which is Tilly Buddy's stretchy bind off, or I don't know. I'll have to look again. But anyway, this pattern is super awesome. This was the Beyond Vanilla collection, the first Beyond Vanilla collection. So as you can tell, it's got this cool little texture. The texture stitch is very easy to do, and she has it in like 4, 6, 8, or 10 row repeats. She talks all about the patterns and there's a YouTube video where she's talking about her Beyond Vanilla collection. So if you're interested in that collection of patterns, I suggest looking up that video because it's very very informative. So just look up the Knitting Expat Beyond Vanilla or something like that. It's easy to find. But anyway, this particular stitch or sock pattern is called the Driftwood Socks, and you can change the frequency of the texture stitches so like they can be, the dog's in the way, they can be closer together or farther apart. I was keeping up with how often I did the texture row. Honey, you've got to stop pulling on the picnic table, get off. But it was getting hard to, it was a little frustrating to have to keep counting, so I just gave up on that. The socks are not going to be exactly the same, and I'm okay with that. So to make it easier on myself, I just knit, and then I'm like, you know, I guess I need to add in a texture row, and I add in a texture row. And that makes it really, really fun to knit. Okay, so that's that with the pattern. Now the needles. These are, can you see them? These are the Lykke, L-Y-K-K-E. Apparently it's the Norwegian term for happiness. So Lykke needles, these particular ones are 2.25 millimeter and 32-inch cable for magic loop. I've never tried double points, and I've never tried the small circulars. I'm happy with the magic loop for socks. So that's what I'm going to do for now to save me from having to buy more needles at the moment, because I've already bought a gajillion. They have the size. All the Lykke needles have the size, which maybe if I cover up my eyes, Okay, I don't know. Anyway, it's probably too small for it to focus on. So the size is right here. It feels like it's etched in. So I know if it's gold, painted gold, so you can see it, but it feels like it's etched. It may be it's not even painted. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to rub off, at least not very easily. So that's good. The points on these are pretty sharp, pretty pointy. You know, they're nice. I'm not sure, like the small ones, I'm afraid might break a little easier. Since they are wood, they're birch, but I mean, I carried these in my backpack when I went to Dollywood last week. So with the school trip. So then I had them on the school bus. I was knitting, and then I knit just a little bit in the park, not much. But I could have left them on the school bus. I just, you know, people see a bag and they think there's something important in there, and I just didn't want to take the chance of losing my socks because I spent quite a lot of time on them. So anyway, I did pack them around in my bag, and they're not broken yet, so maybe they'll be tough enough to withstand me. I also, for the cardigan, I started out with the Chiagu, is that how you say it? Red lace needles, and those worked really well until I started on the sleeve. I magic looped the sleeve, and whenever I got there, the red lace cable was a little bit tough to, it was making my hands cramp trying to hold it. It's flexible, but it's more springy, where it's more of a metal. The Chiagu's red lace needles have more of a metal, like cable, and it's coated in plastic. It's more springy, so so it was cramping my hands up. So I ended up ordering some light wooden needles in size 8 and 6 to do the sleeves on my cardigan. And I'm really loving the wood and the bamboo needles at the moment, because I feel like I drop stitches too easily with metal needles, and I think the wood needles help keep my hands from cramping up, probably because I must be having like a death grip on the metal needles to keep my my stitches from falling off. So I feel like I can knit for longer periods of time with using wood or bamboo. So for now, that's what I'm gonna use. Okay, before I start the next whip, or show you the next whip, I'm going to take a quick break. Here is my gauge swatch, what I've got so far for the So Faded Sweater by Andrea Mowry. And I'm hoping that I dyed this to where there's enough contrast that you can tell. I'm not sure. I'm a little worried that the colors look too much alike. But I don't know. I mean, I want it to be a barely fade. I don't want it to be stripy. So it might end up looking okay. But for the sweater, I'm going to start the top with this light color, and then go into the gray, which I really don't think that I dyed that gray enough. You can barely see. And then I'll go into this purpley color, and then I've got a blue color for the last. I'm going to try to do just 4 colors. And I got a message. This is I went down 2 needle sizes, I think, because I wasn't getting the right gauge. I think I've got the right gauge now. There's it's like 24 stitches or something, so I've marked off my 24 stitches. I'm going to finish on, I'm going to see how the colors fade together. I'm going to block it, and then I'll see if my gauge is still correct. But at the moment, it's right this way. I've not measured lengthwise yet, but I went ahead just to see if it was close before I went too far, so that way if I needed to order some different needles and try a different size, I could. I think the pattern calls for size 5, and These are size 3, 3.25 millimeter. So I had to go down 2 sizes for needles. Evidently, I don't know if it's partly maybe this particular yarn is maybe it's a little thinner yarn. Partly it could be that I have a bit looser gauge whenever it comes to fingering weight yarn. I don't really know. I got the right gauge on my cardigan with the needles called for the pattern, so I'm not sure. But anyways, I wasn't liking the material. I tried it on the size 5, and I tried it on size 4, and I didn't get very far because I didn't really like the material. It was too holey. So I do like this fabric. So I think these needles will work. But I'm gonna finish it up, do the gauge to make sure to get the right size in the pattern, to do the correct pattern size. And it's a little messy, but I'm doing you can look up a video or anything, swatching in the round. So you just make these long loops, so that way, because evidently if you try to swatch for it in the round, evidently a lot of people, and I probably do this, I don't know, but you purl tighter or looser than you knit. So maybe that's what it is. I knit loose. My knit stitches are looser than my purl stitches, so maybe that's why whenever I'm doing in the round, maybe I need to go down a little bit. So I'm hoping to get this swatch finished soon, so that way I can get started. I caked up all my yarn yesterday. I hope it doesn't get too dirty being out here on this picnic table. I should wash it off. So here's the first 2 colors. Can I hold them? My hands are quite small. First 2 colors, and then the purpley color, and then I'll fade into this bluish, grayish. So I'm hoping that there's enough difference in this that you can actually tell that it's different colors. These 2, I'm a little concerned that this should have been darker. This second color should have been darker. But I don't know. I like the barely fade effect. So I'll probably just stick with that. I don't know. I'll see whenever this gets finished. Anyways, gotta move on along. I do want to show, I made this project bag. It's ended up being bigger than I had originally planned, just because I really love this material and I wanted to use up as much as I could. So it's just plain blue on the inside. I like the idea of drawstring bags, because I don't have to worry about zippers, the yarn getting tangled up in the zipper. And also, I don't really like this ribbon because it's not printed on both sides, so I don't really like the white showing, but anyway, that's what I had at the moment. So I can tie it up and use it as a little carry loop too. I'm thinking about starting an Etsy shop for project bags, and potentially in the future, if I get good enough, maybe some hand-dyed yarn. But I really like making the project bags. This was the first bag I made, and I didn't think to put a drawstring on it. I could go back and add it. I just have been kind of lazy. So, second bag I made, and I decided to do the drawstring. Okay, so that's where my sweater is going to be. My cardigan was in there. So, that bag, I mean, it's big enough for like 5 projects probably, but anyway, whatever. Really quick, I'll show this, even though I've not worked on it in ages. This is some more yarn that I dyed, which I love, love, love this color. And I wanted to find a name for it. I finally think I have decided on You'll Bring Honor to Us, because I feel like the colors in it match up with Mulan. She's my favorite Disney princess. And I feel like it matches up with Mulan in the first part where she had to she's supposed to be meeting with the matchmaker, and so she had a bluish colored dress, some purpley, at some part, I think some part of her dress had purple in it, and they had her with the white face, and the eyeshadow was pinkish or teal or something. I don't know. I just think that, I think that matches. I think. Possibly it doesn't, but anyways, I think it does. So I think I'm gonna try to dye it at some point, a yarn to represent Mulan after she goes into the fighting part. I really love that cartoon, that Disney cartoon. So I had some of the TARDIS material left over, so I decided to make a mini bag. And this is small, but if you have a one skein project like the Sockhead hat, sorry, that was the Sockhead slouch hat, it's on Ravelry, but one skein project fits into this perfectly, and it's so, you can take this in your purse if you're going to the movies or something, and it's so small and nice. Okay, this bag that I made is my favorite, and again, you can tie it up and use it as a carry handle. So this, I accidentally cut the material out wrong, which turned out to be the best thing ever because I really love the contrast. There's, I had this canvas, this grayish color canvas that I'd used to make a purse recently. So I made a contrast bottom out of the canvas, which I think it matches up with the feathers. The inside has this nice geometric stuff. I found this particular material at Joann's. And the police box material came from Joann's. But I think I found that exact police box material at fabric.com also. But anyways, living in this, I'm trying to hurry up so we can get to the hay mowing, is my spring into summer shawl. I showed this on the deleted video, but at that time it was way back here. So I've made quite a bit of progress on this. I think that's it does have a right and a wrong side. So I've made quite a bit of progress on this particular shawl, and I hope it turns out good. So this pattern, at first I wasn't really sure if I liked it, but ew, it's got dog slobber. But the more I do it, the more I really like this pattern, and the easier it gets. Now, I do have a problem with this texture pattern. I don't think my the eyelet holes are lining up like they're supposed to. I really think that they're all supposed to like go at a diagonal, and mine kind of zigzag. I don't think it's supposed to do that, but it'll be okay. It's not bothering me. It just adds character to it. I ended up accidentally getting carried away with this garter stitch pattern here, and or section, and I ended up adding an extra repeat before I started the lace. You have to have multiples of 6 stitches in a multiple of 6 before you start the lace. So anyways, so I just started the lace. I got 2 repeats done, and I'm kind of following her recipe for the one that she uses in the example, except I kind of had to extend. I decided I just wanted 4 colors. Like, she has a main color and then she has 5 contrast colors. Well, I'm going to do the main color and then I'm going to have 4 contrast colors. So I'm making it a little bit wider. But, I'm making each color stripe a little bit wider. Also, hers was more of a gradient where it faded from blue to purple, and obviously mine's going to be stripy. So, it'll be alright. This is Woolfiend yarn, and it's a one-of-a-kind colorway. Whenever I reordered the Winter is Coming color, I ordered 2 skeins, and it got lost in the mail. So she ended up having an extra of each color that I ordered. So she sent that, and then she put this in as an extra, even though I mean, it wasn't her fault. I wasn't upset about it, but she just put that in as an extra because it had taken so long for me to get my yarn, which she totally didn't have to do that, but I was super happy whenever I saw it because I was trying to figure out what color I wanted to use for this shawl, and I saw this, and it's perfect. So, I'm really glad that I got that. For some reason, the Winter is Coming color, it looks darker in this shawl than it did whenever I made my socks. But I think it'll be okay. And then I dyed the blue. I had a skein of yarn I split into 3, approximately 30 grams each, and 33, something like that. So I dyed a blue, a pink, and then a purpley blue, purple and blue. And so that's going to be my spring into summer shawl. I've never really wore shawls very much, but for some reason I've decided recently that I really like to knit them, so I'm going to have to learn how to wear them. Hopefully this next winter will be a lot warmer, and of course with a fingering weight shawl, it's thin enough where I think I could wear it more, because I think it'll be, I get hot easily, but anyway. I also got these, I almost forgot to show. I'm not going to take them all out, but anyways, it's Seattle Dye Works, and this is Harry Potter stitch markers, and it's got 1 progress keeper, and there's all kinds of stuff in here, so it's really cool. It's got the deer for the patroness, it's got a castle, the bus, there's a broom, an owl, what else is in here? There's a Deathly Hallows charm, a lightning bolt, witch hat, a book. I don't really know why there's an octopus in here, but it's here. And then some glasses. So, I really, really like that a lot. So those are my first actual stitch markers. I've always used the plastic kind that you get from Hobby Lobby before, and I really like the metal ones. They're awesome. So I'm going to start using whenever if I ever get started on my self-faded sweater, totally going to use those stitch markers. Okay, so that's all the whips. I have to show this because it's awesome. I ordered some yarn from Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits, Bad Wolf Girl Studios. This is the Galaxy color. And oh, look at all those sparkles. I usually am not a sparkly girl, but those are beautiful, and the colors are perfect. So I had thought I would do the Police Box socks. If you watch the Hey Sister podcast, I think it was Tabby that made the Police Box socks, and she used the Galaxy yarn. So that was my intention. I was going to get the Galaxy yarn. I was going to do Police Box socks. It is so soft and so beautiful. I've totally got to make a shawl out of this. I cannot make socks out of that. Ordered my cardigan. She was that, I can't think of her name, but anyways, her Etsy shop is Arwen Makes. So she was so nice and helpful. Sorry, got a little sidetracked. So she was, just give me a few more minutes, okay, baby? Just a few more minutes.
How much is that?
Well, I'm going to show this right here, and then I'm going to be done. So she added in an extra skein of sparkly for me to dye. So I think I'm going to dye the silver gray and put it with the Galaxy and make the All About Brioche shawl. Because I like to try brioche. Beauty and the Beast, what is it? Tell Us Eldest Time and Space. It's also shimmery. It's getting a little blown out. Sorry. This will be mini self-striping or something like that. She has a picture of it somewhere on Instagram, Bad Wolf Girl Studios. She has example of it knit up. I'm going to make vanilla socks with it because it's self-striping, and I just have to make socks with that. That yarn is so soft. I can't believe it. I can't wait to get started on my shawl. But first, I'm going to try for brioche. I'm first going to try this. I'm going to try Pattern by Mina Phillip. It's got some French name, but it translates into squishy or something like that. So we'll just say the squishy shawl because I can't say the French word. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to use these two. This is Muffin from Woolfiend, and it's got, the blue's not really showing up, but it's got specks of navy. It's tan with specks of navy. So maybe it's like blueberry muffin. I don't know. But anyway, it's very pretty. And this was an accidental, I dyed it. I was trying to get tan. I thought, this was before my order from Woolfiend came through. I was trying to get tan for my spring into summer shawl. It was horrible. It looked horrible. So I stuck it back in there. I tried tan again, more tan. Horrible, horrible. So I gave up. I put some baby blue eyes dye and ended up with this pretty good navy. It's, if you look closely, there's some spots on it that kind of dirty, but that's where like some of the tan speckles got in there, because I was trying, not only was I trying to do tan, I was trying to speckle over tan as well. It was a disaster. But anyways, so it's navy, and I'm thinking if I do this, I'm going to do a brioche. That pattern I was looking at is a brioche. Okay, so they're contrasty enough that the pale is getting blown out. But anyways, you get the idea. So this will be the main color. This will be the contrast color. So I'm thinking that'll, you know, this isn't too pretty. This is very pretty. So put them together and I think I'll get a very pretty shawl. Because with the contrast color being kind of behind it, it'll all work, I think. Okay. So that's that. And we're going to have to rush over to the hayfield so that Wade can ride with his daddy and try out the new hay mower. We didn't want to have to buy a new hay mower because all this farm stuff is expensive, but my husband farms full time and the hay mower we had bit the dust. So he managed to trade it in with a few more things, and so that brought the price of the hay mower down significantly. So I mean, if you're gonna be baling, I don't even know. Do you know how many acres your daddy has?
No.
Yeah, he has a lot. He's already contracted to sell like 600 bales of hay. So if you're baling like thousands of bales of hay, then you're going to need a good mower. So it'll work out. And a weird week for me because the school year ended and I'm going to be looking for another job. I'm not going back to the school that I was at. Actually, I'm not going back to high school at all. I was a high school chemistry teacher. I think I mentioned that in the last episode. And I'm going to be finding something else to do. I don't know exactly what. Ideally, I would get into I would figure out a way to make my photography business successful. But we live in such a small area, I don't know if that's going to be possible. So, I don't really know. I may try for younger grades, elementary school, but I'm not going back to high school. I just can't. So, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'll get, you know, some other job to make, you know, ends meet. But it'll be fine. I'm going to enjoy the summer. We're going to do lots of fun stuff. Wade will start school in the fall. So we're going to have lots of fun for him with his last summer before kindergarten starts. So that's all for now. And hopefully see you next week. This will probably not be a weekly podcast. Probably every other week, maybe. So hopefully I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Let's see. Was there anything else I needed to add? Oh, thanks for viewing. And if you actually watched my first one, thanks so much. It didn't get a whole lot of views, but that's okay. I didn't expect anybody to watch it, so I'm surprised it got any views. And so thanks so much for that. And if you like what you see on here, then share it with your friends or fellow knitters or crafters or whoever, and hit the subscribe button, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.